Hmm. Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Every day is a good day. There is something to learn, care, and celebrate. Welcome to another day of learning. Welcome to Institute of Global Professional Free International Webinar. Thank you all for joining with us in this marvelous session, and I hope you stay with us till the program ends. And time to time, you like our Facebook page and subscribe our YouTube channel for upcoming information. Once again, I am Kamrul, coordinator of IGP from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member, and I feel honored to host this webinar. And it's my delight to welcome you all to our Institution of Global Professional Free International Webinar. Dear participants, before we have completed our 850 webinars successfully, today I will be presenting webinar number 851, and that topic is delivering constructive criticism. Today we have a brilliant speaker from Philippines. Before starting the program, I request everyone to share this webinar in your newsfeed and social media. And don't forget to mention your friends in the comment box to join this live quiz session, because your latest friend encourages us to do better and best services to our lovely audience. Our mission is to empower our ears. Later, we have quiz competition, and after that, we have Q&A, and finally, we share our certification process. Before starting our presentation, we introduce our speaker. Today, our speaker name is Josephine Tolentino. She is a teacher of technology and livelihood education at Dollars National High School. She is also organist and a coordinator. Let's we welcome our speaker to the screen.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. And thank you
Good.
for the introduction, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And thank you for this opportunity to speak again with the Institute of Global Professionals, or IGP. I will be going to introduce myself again since I am very excited with the topic that I have. I am Josephine Tolentino, and I'm speaking again live here in the municipality of Magalang, province of Pampanga in the Philippines. Before I start, allow me to greet my fellow professionals and audience. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I am currently teaching at Dolores National High School, and I am handling technology and livelihood education, grade 8 exploratory course dressmaking, and animal production specialization for grade 10. And I am the current music coordinator, organist, choir trainer of the Association of St. John Mary Vianney. So for today, I will be discussing delivering constructive criticism. My topics are prepare and plan to deliver constructive criticism. B. How to create feedback that is constructive and implementable. So for our learning goals at the end of the webinar, participants will examine the components of crafting feedback in a constructive manner. Next, examines how to create feedback in the feedback in a constructive and implementable. Let me give you a little introduction with this one. What if I told you you're not perfect? Obviously, you know that already. We know that already. But it still kind of stings. Criticisms of any kind may be hard to swallow. Am I right? Especially when it comes to something you spend time and energy on. Inherently, we all want to do a good job. Today, my topic is very timely to all of us, fellow teachers, school heads, and businessmen and others. Since we are working with a different workplace, we may encounter criticism every day. Since we are, but how do we handle criticism? You can write your answer on the comment box. Thank you. So let me give you the definition of the word criticism. What is criticism? The expression of someone disapproval of someone or something based on perceived faults or mistakes. Therefore, when you say criticism, it comes from someone, somebody, or the people around us. Their basis from what they see perceived faults or mistakes. They do not agree or they disapprove on what we are doing, on what we have presented. Another definition, the act of criticizing, usually unfavorably, seeking encouragement rather than criticism, which we will going to discuss later. Our criticisms are all negative or positive or any kind of criticism are still criticism. Letter B, a critical observation or remark, an unfair criticism, had a minor criticism of the design. Maybe here we are talking about literary work. That is normal because when there are different kinds of criticism, as I have mentioned, and then letter C, it is the word critic. So meaning when you say criticism, these are the observation, usually the unfavorable, seeking which seek encouragement rather than to put them down. So there are different types of criticism. As what I have mentioned, there are different types depending upon what you want to, what you observe. But I will going to discuss only two types of criticisms. So one is the constructive criticism. So when we say constructive criticism, these criticisms are often considered as tip for improvement. That is how could things be better and be done in a more acceptable way. And let us try to have the other one, which is always the opposite, the destructive criticisms. The goal of this criticism is to destroy the criticized target by making destructive criticism. So therefore, which do you prefer among these two? Is it the constructive or the destructive? You can write your answer on the comment box. So, of course, we always want the positive one, the constructive. But what is the difference between these two? So, constructive criticism is given with a compassionate and help attitude, while destructive criticism is criticism without the intention to harm or insult someone. So, therefore, the first one has what we call compassion. There is love when you give the criticism. But here, it is the intention to insult someone. Okay? For the constructive criticism, the main attention is to help a person to improve his work, while destructive criticism, main attention is to hurt and embarrass the creator. Is this really these two kind of criticism, does it happens in our workplace? For the constructive criticism, it offers suggestions and tips to improve, of course. And then for the destructive criticism, focus on the creator of the work, not the creation. So there is a big differences. Next, another constructive criticism, it is more on the specific, clear, detailed, and actionable. While here, destructive criticism, vague and non-specific because there is no clear what is the real main topic. For the constructive criticism, critics are usually experts, while in the destructive, critics tend to be arrogant. Of course, it is always the opposite. There is humbleness here when they give criticism. For destructive, it is more on being pretending that you are that the giver of the criticism are always great. And for the constructive criticism, you should thank the critic and try to improve. Here, when they give the criticism, we accept it wholeheartedly, and we always thank the person who give the criticism, of course. For here, for here, we may get mad or we get what comes to our mind is always the negative. So for the constructive criticism, its main purpose is to help the person. While in the destructive, of course, from the word destructive, it seems that the main purpose is to destroy the person. That is what we can say for the destructive criticism. But what often comes in our workplace? Is it constructive criticism or destructive criticism? Which is more often being emphasized? Is it the constructive or the destructive? Okay, so those are the two difference between constructive and destructive criticism. For our next slide, so here are the different ways on how we can give our criticism. So for the first one, do we ask ourselves if we are the school head, if we are the teacher, if we are the businessman, when should feedback occur? When? So one aspect of delivering constructive criticism is in the knowing the time and way, right time and way to deliver it. So meaning, one aspect of delivering, as we know, when is the right time and way to deliver it. While some instances, of course, you will ask, when can we give the right criticisms? So, while some instances can wait, others may need to address right away. If it is done too soon, it could make employee doubt their abilities and affect their job performance. If delivered too late, then the employee may ignore it and altogether and dismiss any help at all. So, which is the right time? But identifying the key situations can help decide when feedback needs to be done. So I have a situation here. An employee works hard during the day and stays late to finish project and assignments. However, she is always tardy in the morning when reporting to work. Does it happen? Yes, of course. So what will be the positive? The positive here is that, of course, the employee works hard during the day and stays late to finish the projects and assignments. But what is the negative? She is always tardy in the morning when reporting to work. But what will be the solution? What will be the solution? You can write your solution in our comment box. So I give that to you. And for the next one, repeated events. So what is this repeated events? An employee that displays repeated negative behaviors or patterns should be addressed in order to eliminate behaviors. So, before addressing the problem, of course, the employee should be monitored to assess the extent of the behavior. Once it has been identified, the employee should be addressed in private. Privately, a resolution can be found to end the behavior and prevent it from happening further without embarrassing the employee in front of others. Because if you will not going to correct that, many coworkers will be affected too, and they will be motivated to do it also. That's why we have to do it in a very comfortable way that they will not get offended, as what I've said. Talk to the person in private. So just like as teachers, when we make our suggestions or the criticisms or the what we call observations to our students who do this also repeated behavior, which is not quite good, we have to talk to the students privately, but not maybe we you can go the to your faculty and then talk to that person in one-on-one basis. And of course, we have examples here. An employee is constantly tardy to meetings, although they contribute throughout the session. What is that? An employee turns in their reports in correct format, but they are always on time. Third, an employee works hard during the day but takes long breaks and lunches. All of these have positive, but there is always what we call the negative. So how are you going to react on this situation? If you are the school heads and you are the leader. Third, we have what we call the breaches in company or company policy. So when you say breaches, situations such as tardiness, improper dress code, poor performance are examples of breach in company problems. Problems such as this should not wait until the employee's next review but should be addressed right away. So these are the situations that should be addressed right away. If not properly handled, the employees behaviors can start to affect others in the office and disrupt work the workflow. Employees should be reminded also of the company policy, including guidelines to start and possibly consequences of the misconduct. If we know that the time that we enter our offices, we were given the orientation what is the proper dress code, what time do we come to get to the workplace. Of course, we have to be not to be reminded because we have our obligations so that we will not be affecting others. So we have another examples here. The excessive tardiness or absences, consistent violation of dress code policies, disruptive behavior to other employees, and then the continued unsatisfactory job performance. Especially if we are teachers, let us not violate the dress code. As we know, we have our dress code implemented. And of course, although it is in the modern times, we still have to be dress in modest. And of course, for the others, we need to follow. If we will not going to follow, will be sent through notice by the school heads. And of course, our number 4, when informal feedback has not worked. Informal feedback includes actions such as a helpful reminder, a discussion in passing, or even an email or memo. So therefore, these are what we call informal feedback. Many educators or managers will try one of these methods to address a problem with an employee and keep constructive criticisms to a minimum. But when informal methods do not work, what will happen? The behavior continues to a the manager needs the manager to then find a formal feedback to speak with the employee. Therefore, formal feedback, as the name suggests, usually involves a more planned or structured approach, such as meeting or review. These actions normally allow more direct contact with the employee and can better address the problem as well as a solution. Therefore, as we say, if informal feedback is not being effective, so therefore you have to face the employee and have a what we call the formal feedback. So here are some examples of the formal feedback. We have the private meetings or discussions, personal follow-up after a particular incident, the employee review or appraisal. So still have to plan, you still have to have a plan A. If plan A will not be uh, effective, then you have to proceed with plan B. And then we have number 5, immediate after the occurrence. What is this immediate? Right away. It means right away. One of the best times to deliver feedback is immediate after the incident happens. So this way, the behavior or problems can be addressed right away. If a problem is ignored and allowed to continue, it can only affect the employee but co-workers as well. It is not only the one, but he will infect others. The longer the behavior goes on, or the more time that passes after an incident, the value and effect of the feedback decreases. So, formal or informal feedback can be used as long as it effectively resolves the problem. So, therefore, formal feedback is needed in here if plan A is not still effective. And then, here are the tips. Speak with the employee privately. Do you want to do this one? You speak with privately with the employee to employer. Of course, we as a worker or teachers, we want privacy. Am I right? We need privacy that no one will going to hear our conversation, hear our agreement, and then of course we can express whatever we want. Address the problem. Don't criticize the employee and find a solution and how it can be implemented. Thus, this one is being applied to our workplace. Are we being directly in talk to the we talk in the private, or we are being told in the public? Okay, next for our topic 6, careful preparation, clear information delivery, and sense of sensitivity toward the employee will not result in better employee performance, but possibly a better relationship between the management and employees. Of course, one thing here is that when we talk, when we criticize, when we evaluate um, our teachers, we have to plan and prepare it carefully. You have to write it in our notes so that when we face our employee, we are always ready. Once that we are not ready, the more it will be complicated. The situation will become more complicated because in here, if you have planned, you have prepared, you will not go out to your objective because you have your objective. That's why you are talking. You are addressing the problems to the person, to your worker. And seven, gather facts on the issue. So these include employee performance status or stats, memos, emails, exchange, or even notes containing your own personal observations. So before you can begin address any situation, you have to gather the facts, but do not just listen to the people or it is just a gossip. You only still have to look for the different sources, especially if gossip is not quite reliable. And of course, when that person has enemies or they do not in good terms, then of course that gossip will grow and more. They will create more to that person in order for the person to be destroyed. It's best to make a quick list of what you will need to cover and what information you need to do that. These include employee performance, of course, that's what we have mentioned here. And then, if needed, include information from company policies or training guides. Of course, if we are in the education sector, education, we still have to use our DepEd memos, Department of Education memos, the school memorandum that was sent, and of course, the more facts, information you gathered beforehand, the more prepared you'll be when the time comes to meet the employees. At least you have your basis in gathering all the data. And then here are the hints or tips. Review the reasons for giving the constructive criticisms, improve or change the future, uh, gather information that supports why you have addressed the problems. So at least if you have review, you have you can help. You can really help the person to what is going on to him or her. For number 8, practice your tone. The tone of your voice can speak louder than the words you use. The point of constructive criticism is to help the employee and encourage them to improve and be successful, of course. If your tone is hard or comes across of disapproving, the employee may interpret the meeting as a form of criticism or discipline and then ignore or dismiss any help, or advice, or action. On the other hand, if the tone is too light and amicable, the employee may interpret the action plan as friendly advice and not take the need for improvement seriously. Therefore, tone has an effect the way we speak to the person. There are different ways since we are on the different regions of our country. We have different ways. Some tones like us, we have a very loud voice. It seems almost interpret, they always say that we are always on fight, although we are not. But even we have that kind of voice, we need to um, we need to have our voice adjust. We need what we call adjust our voice to the situation. And the next one, here are the points to remember. Remain neutral. Your focus is to help the employee. Watch for angry or accusing tones. This can counteract the help being offered. Practice what you want to say beforehand. Look for tones and pitches that can either help or harm. Of course, we have to look or practice what we need to say on hand. And then we always need to anticipate what will be our answer, what will be the proper word to, and let us watch our turn when we give criticism, because some words may be interpreted by our by the person. And the next nine, make realistic goals or create an action plan. What is this action plan? Make a realistic goals employee can achieve and focus on areas of words that employee has control to change their duties for the department. Once the problem has been addressed, an action plan will help the employee to make proper adjustments and improve their need. Change can be hard for anyone, as the employees will need proper support from the management to succeed once a plan has been made. So therefore, here are some tips. Give specific feedback and improvements that need to be made. Focus on goals the employee can achieve to correct the problem. Form an action plan that helps achieve those goals. And the last one, follow up as needed. And then the last one, keep written records. Not only or written records only help the track behavior actions that need to be corrected, but also help documents actions that will taken to correct the situation. Why do we need to take written records? So these are the examples of written records. Exchange emails, notes, memos. Even if we are using cell phones, the technology we can have them screenshots as their proof of communications. The lack of employee behaviors or action plan with the improvement ideas and strategies. What will be the reaction of that action plan? And then sign forms signed by the employee. Of course, you have to let the employee sign what is in the action, what is written in the as a document that you have been you have been addressing the problems to him, and at least you have your document. So I am asking, what is the reason why do we need to have a written documents? So written and documented records are often important in delivering constructive criticism in order for us to have proof, in order to us to have proof that you have been discussing the problem to the person. So example of written records, we have the exchange emails, notes, memos, and then the log of employees. So the action plan with improvement ideas, and then the sign forms of the employees. And then with this quote, criticism may not be agreeable, but it is necessary. It fulfills the same function as pain in the human body. It calls attention to the development of an unhealthy state of things. It is headed in time. Danger may be averted. If it is suppressed, a fatal distemper may develop. By Winston Churchill. I would like to thank all of you for attending this program on our discussion about delivering constructive criticism. I hope you have learned something from this webinar, and if you want more of this discussion, you can check this reference from my slide, which you can access online. Thank you, everyone, and please, if you have some more time, help me fill out the evaluation from the presentation. Our good facilitator will help here, will send the link of the evaluation form. Thank you very much, IGP.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful and very comprehensive presentation. Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.
Ma'am, now we are going to our quiz competition, and after that we come back again with our Q&A session. Okay, ma'am?
Okay.
Okay. Dear participants, now we are going to our quiz competition session. Today our quiz code is IGP quiz. The code is IGP quiz. Let's enjoy our quiz video. Dear participants, this is our quiz session time. You can join this session by slido.com, and after that you have can enter the code, and the code is IGP quiz. Then you can join this live quiz session. And for the top 10 quiz competition winners get their quiz certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. So don't forget to mention your friends in the comment box to join this live quiz session. And I request everyone to join with your full name. Quiz will directly print on your quiz certificate. And I also remind you that there is no relationship between quiz completion certificate and free international webinar certificate. After this quiz session, we have Q&A, and after that we proceed to our certification process. Now 41 participants already joined with us. We start our quiz competition after 1 minute later. So join, be hurry up and mention your friends in the comment box to join this live quiz session. Ano ba siya? Hmm? Okay, dear participants, we start our quiz competition now. Our first question is: there are no risks involved with delivering constructive criticism. The statement is true or false? Option number two, the statement is false. Our next question is: constructive criticism is specific and descriptive comments that allow self-improvement or positive message that boosts the confidence of the speaker. Option number one, the specific and descriptive comments that allow self-improvement is the right answer. Next question is: delivering constructive criticism while directing the student to first self-directed learning. Is it teaching general rules or correcting mistakes? Option number two, correcting mistakes, is the right answer. Next question is: delivering constructive criticism while directing the students to pursue self-directed learning. Is it teaching general rules or correcting mistakes? This is the repeat question. Option number two, correcting mistakes, is the right answer. Next question is: deconstructive criticism is delivering criticism without fixing every grammatical error within a document or effort to stimulate improvement. Option number two, effort to stimulate improvement, is the right answer. Next question is: what approach prevents employees from feeling attacked when delivering constructive criticism? Is it meeting with a lot of words approach or balance? Option number two, balance, is the right answer. Next question is: why is constructive criticism important in the workplace? Is it puts narcissistic and difficult people in their place or required process to deal with problematic workplace situations? Option number two, required process to deal with problematic workplace situation, is the right answer. Next question is: to effectively deliver constructive criticism and form results, the manager must what? Is it eliminate personal emotions or look at the employee's profile for repeat offenses? Option number one, eliminate personal emotions, is the right answer. Next question is: constructive criticism delivered with dash is more likely to be accepted by the employee. Is it anger or empathy? Option number 1 is the right answer. Last question is, what is a good way to give and take constructive criticism? Is it point fingers or activity listen? Option number 2, actively listen, is the right answer. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your active participation in this quiz completion study. Now we are going to see our leaderboard. Okay, congratulations of our top 10 quiz competition winners. Top 10 quiz competition winners get their certificate after this session from our official Facebook page. Our Facebook page address is Institute of Global Professionals. Now we are going to our Q&A session. After a short video clip, we come back again. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Welcome back, ma'am. Dear
Nice to be back.
participants, this is our quiz session time. You can send your question in our comment box. And our first question is criticism really a disapproval expression?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Wendell Delgado Cinco, thank you very much for that question. Is criticism really a disapproval expression? Maybe we can say that criticism, or of course, when we give criticism, we always use our facial expression, but depends upon what is the kind of criticisms that we are going to give. So if the kind of criticism is concern about the attitude of the person, of course, our facial expression is always involved. In order to be effective, we always use our facial expression, but that depends upon what we are giving. Let's say like now, you will going to give me a criticism that I am a very good speaker. Of course I will going to smile, and that is my facial expression. Or if you will going to tell me like this and like that, which is not related to what I am doing now, of course I will going to give you a facial expression which somewhat kind of disapproval. Ma'am? Okay.
Thank you. And our next question is,
Welcome.
good afternoon, ma'am Josephine. And the question is, how does constructive criticism help students?
Well, for us teachers or for everybody, to the students, it will have this criticisms will have the students to improve more. If they will, as long as this criticism is well explained, well elaborated with the students. So once that we give criticisms to students, especially if we want to uplift them, motivate them. That's why these criticisms that we are giving them will help the students in their studies. Yes,
Thank you,
thank you.
ma'am. The next question is, how do we give constructive criticism without hurting feelings?
We can give criticisms without hurting feelings, or we can say there is no criticisms that will not give us hurt, will not hurt our feelings, because we are humans. We feel, we have our emotions. Now how can we do it without hurting the person? um how nga? How? Maybe we can still do it in a much better, plan it in a better way, that they will not be offended and then take it seriously, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, can I still accept criticism from people who are plastic and backstabbing people in the workplace? And thank you.
Very nice question. It is in the real scenario in our workplace. So when you say criticism, are you going to accept? Are you going to accept it from the people who do not like you, who dislike you? Of course, we have to accept it as a sign of being humble. Of course, even though they are backstabbing at you, still you have to accept them and take it as professionally. Those people, what we call plastic, they are really what we call spices of life in our workplace. So we have to take it positively. Whatever they give us, we need to accept it positively. Okay, ma'am? Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question is, greetings, ma'am Josephine, and thank you for your presentation. And the question is, how do we give constructive criticism towards our boss? And the second question is, how will they accept it?
This is kind of some kind of how do we really give constructive, especially can we give criticism to our boss? Constructive. That depends. If your boss and you have a very nice relationship, maybe um, you can say it in a very, you can give constructive criticisms. So you have to look or plan in a better way so that your boss will not be offended to you. But if your boss is humble enough, he will going to, or she will going to take that serious. She will going to take that professionally. Of course, it is a sign that when you give criticism to your boss, meaning that you are aware of what your boss is doing. Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. The next question is, they say criticism is a form of honesty. How can you handle people who don't want to accept positive criticism and treat them negatively?
Yes, I always say that criticism is a form of honesty. As they say, you are not a true friend, you are not a true person if you will not going to tell the others person's error or mistakes. So how can we handle people who don't want to accept positive criticism and treat them negatively? If there are people like that, they feel they are great. So uh, maybe we cannot let them. It is not you who will going to give them or give them the criticism. It is just the other people around who will going to give them in return. If they don't want to listen, then let other people will do it for them, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next question is embarrassing criticism is not a smooth experience for most people. And what good advice can you share to balance positive and negative responses?
So when receiving criticism, either constructive or negative, these criticisms will be part of our development. It is not professional, but it is our own development. That once that we see this, we can improve more our actions, our actions, what we do, what we say, in order for us that we can share it to a balanced and positive way. Because if we will not going to examine what they are giving to us, the criticism that is being given to us, um, the effect of this will turn into more negative responses. But if us as a receiver, we need to take it more professionally because we are in the workplace. How can we make our workplace more a better one, more enjoyable workplace? So for us, teachers and everybody here on the studio are watching, we need to make our workplace more happier. So that's why we need to take every constructive or negative criticism professionally. It will serve as our guide. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. There is no more question. You answer all of our questions. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation and sharing your valuable knowledge with our participants. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir, and welcome also. Thank you also, IGP, Institute of Global Professionals.
Thank you. Dear participants, today our program name is Delivering Constructive Criticism. And today our certification code is IGP 4958. The code is IGP 4958. Please note that code or take a screenshot of this picture to get your certificate. To download your certificate, you have to go to our website. Our website address is eduizp.com. If you have no account on our website, first of all, you have to create an account on our website. After that, you have to enroll the program, and the program name is Delivering Constructive Criticism. And after that, you have to enter the code, and the code is IGP 4958. Then you can download your e-certificate. After downloading your e-certificate, don't forget to celebrate with IGP checking. Thank you everyone for your active participation in this session. We hope we'll meet together in our afternoon session. Thank you everyone. Stay happy and stay safe.